Hello everyone! How are we doing on this beautiful day? How is everybody's time zone? How is everybody's Thursday/Friday respectively, because time zones are weird. Welcome on in, friends. Where's my face? Welcome on in, friends. I hope you're having a lovely time zone. It's Friday. I am pretty excited. Gonna do just a little short boy stream today. I'm pretty much just planning on attempting to finish this character model off. In fact, I actually did a little bit of work on it while I was fluffing about earlier. So it's not even like I need to be here for the full 2 to 3 hours. Like, we might be more or less than that. I don't know. We'll see how I go, because I don't have a great deal of ideas. I've already put down the ideas that I had. So now I'm just in a void of what the fuck do I do with these last 2 or so animations. That's where we're at. And Neff, to answer your question, yeah, Aku came out really good. Yeah, Rowlet and Aku have been really good. Cyndaquil's been not bad. Weedcat is okay. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of stuff with that didn't work the way I wanted it to. And it could have just been me in my own head overcomplicating how I wanted the animations to work, and then I couldn't get them to do what I wanted, and I got shitty with it. I don't know. It's definitely something that I'm potentially going to revisit at some point, because it sort of bugs me the way it is now. It's fine. It's not as good as I think it should be, and that annoys me. I don't know. We'll see. How was your stream? How was Book? How was Reed Book? You have good Book? You have a good time? Does that also mean your internet has been more functional as well? I'm assuming that means your internet is being functional and you're living your best life. Stream was distracted? You got a new modem finally? That's good. I wish getting a new modem would fix my internet, but I don't think it's just the modem that's the problem here. I'm pretty sure it's just my country being hot garbage. It's fine. It works for the most part. 6 hours live, you think you're read for a total of 2 hours? Solid effort. As someone who only generally streams for like 3 or 4 hours, as an average, there's definitely shorter streams. There's definitely a half a dozen longer streams. I like doing long streams. But I have this pesky life thing that I need to tend to, and I'm supposed to get an adequate amount of sleep, and ugh. I don't know, I already spend like 8 hours or more at work in the day. Coming home to stream for another 5 or 6 hours is not super plausible for me, unfortunately. So, I just wish I had more spare time in my life. It's not even just like complaining about having to work so much, it's just like in general. Like, I just feel like a lot of the time I have no time to do stuff that isn't just like life maintenance or like mere existence. And I'm sure it's a reoccurring adult issue, right? Like, if you work a full-time job and then like one day of your weekend is basically just taken up doing like housework, shopping, general adult life maintenance shit, so you basically get 1 day off a week after you've done your washing, housework, shopping, all that crap. It's like, when do I actually get to function? When do I get to do fun stuff? When do we get time for me? Don't get me wrong, I get plenty of time to sit around and play video games, but it's like an hour or two here or an hour or two there. Or like most nights after work I can get 2 or 3 hours in pretty easily. But it's, you know, it's not like it used to be, you know? You know what I mean? And everyone wonders why the boomers are all such assholes. I don't wonder, I already know. I know. It's the decades of thinking that's the right way to live. I mean, look. Like, I could cut down on some of that. Like, I could do some of my chores during the week. Alternatively, like, I suppose theoretically people in my house could also partake in such activities. But that's pretty few and far between on that count. It's fine. I've just come to terms with it. I'm an advocate for working 4 days a week. I wish I could work. I would happily work. A full week here is considered to be like 38 hours, or a full working week is approximately 38 hours. I definitely work more than that already. I would happily work, 40 hours over 4 days. I would do 10-hour shifts. I've done that before. It's not that big of a difference. If it meant I had an extra day off, because days off are awesome, and not working is very good. And spending an extra hour or an hour and a half or so at work, it's not a big deal. Like, it's really not. I do very little at home. This is the thing. When I first started teaching, I was taking home schoolwork like every other day. I was constantly on my computer when I got home. I'd be on my computer for like 2 hours a night or more on average. There's always exceptions where it was way more and way less. And there's like weekends, or like when reports are happening, there's like a weekend or two where I just mark like tests and exams, like mounds of them, like an entire year's worth of content, or the last like 6 months worth of content or 2 months worth of content. It's just like a stack of papers. It's like, that's all I do over the weekend. And I come back to work, I'm like, ha, yay, I'm here again. But not anymore. Oh, if I don't get it done at school, it stays the fuck on my desk. And would you believe the workload's the same? I have way too much to do regardless, except now I'm slightly less miserable. Haha! I do very little planning at home, and I do almost no marking at home now. My year 11 class did an exam this afternoon, which was really shit timing. But regardless, I saw some of the students as they were leaving, because obviously I'm not allowed to be in their exam, because I would probably give them the answers, which would defeat the whole purpose. I almost definitely would. They'd be like, "What's this question mean, sir?" And I'd be like, "Here's basically the answer, figure it out." So anyway, they set their exam today, and I collected it at the end of the day, and I saw some of them. I'm like, "Guys, I will mark this maybe early next week at the soonest. I am not touching that over the weekend." They're like, "You know what? Fair enough." There was a point when I was teaching, I would get assessments and like mark them all that weekend. Which definitely meant there was some weekends that I was working like half of the weekend or more. I would start my Saturday morning at like 8 in the morning, which is normally when I get to school, and I would mark papers for 2 or 3 hours before I did anything else. Not anymore. No. Turns out it doesn't matter if you don't get it done straight away. You don't need to bust your balls at home to get that shit done. You can let it sit for a minute. So I'll mark those papers on Monday. I have more exam supervision on Monday that I'll need to occupy myself for an hour or two, which won't be enough time to get through all of the papers. It'll probably get me through 2 or 3, honestly. Once you get in the rhythm with marking, the first 1 or 2 takes a little bit, and then you sort of find the groove and you sort of get a bit quicker at going through them. But then you find that one kid whose handwriting is like illegible, and you're like, "What dialect is this?" Which, for reference, would have been my paper had I had to mark my own paper. Because my handwriting is pretty fucking bad. It's a lot better than it used to be. When I was a student, my geography teacher, or history teacher, accused me of writing in hieroglyphics, and honestly, he wasn't too far wrong. But still, probably not something to say to, like, I would have been... like, I don't know, 12 or 14 at the time. Probably not the kind of thing you say to a kid in front of the whole class. I don't know. I haven't made that mistake in my career yet, but there's still time. There's still time, you know? But anyway, let's Let's have a look-a-rooney at what we're actually doing today. So we're working on 2B today. Now I actually did some work-a-roonies on this character model just before. I have to sort out an idle animation for this character still. I have to do a sit and stand animation. And I honestly have no fucking clue how I'm going to do any of them. I was hoping that if I scrolled here, there'd be something that would make my brain activate, but I got nothing so far. Other than a lot of concerns for what other sort of things would exist if I went diving deeper on the internet to see this. Like, why is that one blacked out? I could take a guess. I could take a guess at why that one is not there. Just due to the nature of this character, I'd make assumptions. Because that's how it is, you know? So I need to do an idle animation of some description. If I had the skills, I'd love to do... I'd love to do, or have the capacity to, like, make it look like her dress was, like, loopy in the wind. But I don't know that I could do a very good job of that yet. I don't think we're there yet. I actually already have a walking animation sorted out for this character, and it looks pretty okay. It kind of turned out how my brain wanted it to, which made me happy. And I also did a sit animation. It's not a good jump animation. It's not a good jump animation. It's a bad one. But it's the kind of bad one that I'm like, yes, this is actually what I intended it to be, and I'm aware it's bad. Yeah. So yeah, we need to work out the idle animation, because at the moment the idle animation is technically 2 frames, and they don't work well. Where is my actual program? Which is the one I'm using? So I did something a little different with this character model so far. So normally I generally create my avatars and have them sticking to one direction, or like one plane. So like generally the character faces the screen. I actually turned the character to give a side-on view for the movement animations, both the jump and the walk animation. Now in the back of my head, this character has big sword, and I'm pretty certain just from random perusal today that's pretty easy to confirm. I have vague imagery of this character running in the game, and the sword just like levitates behind them. So that is embedded in my brain as to how it works. I could have looked at gameplay footage, which honestly wouldn't have been a bad idea. I have seen little bits and pieces of this game, but very, very little. It's not necessarily a game that I have personally played, but I've definitely seen a few others poking around. But yeah, in the back of my head, when this character moves in the game, the sword just levitates behind them. So that's the exact thing I translated here. This sword is static across almost all of the frames that it is used in. I definitely... Why is there a dot on your boob? Someone know why this dot is here on this boob? How'd that dot get there? You never know when a pair of boobs is gonna be needed for this animation, so I'm just keeping these off to the side, you know, kind of like a spare parts department. You can see this is my current spare parts department. While I was chopping apart this character, I had 2 ideas for the jump animation. And the reason I went with the one I went with is entirely due to skill issues. So I made the run animation, and the entire time in my head, I basically was just thinking of characters doing like the Naruto run, where they have the arms behind them. and they're just sort of running forward. So I gave them a side perspective with like stompies that are on a bit of an angle, and we got a bit of movement across the character in various frames here. So it doesn't read like much here, but it actually looks pretty clean when it's actually animated. So I used the basis of that for the jump animation as well. Now, the first 2 frames, you can see they're perfectly normal, nothing to worry about here. I can explain this to you. There's a few things going on here, but essentially, as I was manipulating this model, I realized it would just be more fun to have the various limbs detach and shuffle around in random places and then heap on the floor. The entire time that sword stays static. Entire time. Don't know why. Don't stress about the color of it at the moment. I'll replace the color for it later. It's just that I'll probably end up using a gray that's similar to either of these. And I hate having items on there that I can't see. That are there that I can't see. Because on that gray background, if I use a gray, it sort of blends too well and I can't see good. So I just leave it... I just leave it as a horrendous color that's super, super obvious. That said, it actually looks quite nice as green. So this character model actually is already uploaded and does technically already have 2 completed animations. It looks hilarious. So the thought process I went through with this animation, I actually wanted to do like a Sonic spin jump. But then I remembered I'm really bad at animating things and could not be fucked trying to fix it after trying to create it. So instead I just detached limbs and made them pile everywhere. And when I say a Sonic spin jump, I mean I wanted the character to run and then jump and like sort of turn into a ball a little bit and then sort of flip. But again, limitations of my skill. I was like, what if I just detach the limbs and put them in random places and see if anyone notices? And then I ended up heaping them in a pile because I know that that'll be the last frame of it. And leaving them in dumb positions for the last frame is always a winner. So that's where we're at with these. I did not want that. I did not want that at all. The problem I now face... This is my spare parts department down here, by the way. I don't know how to make this character sit, and I don't know how to make this character idle. Yeah. Funny enough, there was a mistake that I made during the production of these, and I ended up owning it and assimilating it into the animation once I determined what it was. Effectively, what I'd done is moved the character in one of the cells, and I ended up replicating it because I thought the image wasn't bad that way. But essentially, one of the characters was taller than the other, so it had a flicker effect when it was bad. But then when I adjusted slightly, and then it made it look like the character was just having motion. So that was good. But how do I make this character idle? What does this character do? And how do they sit? The only references I've seen for the sit animation are these ones, like in positions like or very similar to this, or something like this. They're both fine. They lean towards a specific type of image that I don't know that's what I'm going for. Also, her boob window is smaller here. You want big boober window, right? I feel like I did some solid work with my boob window. Oh, should have I left the back open? I didn't even think of that. I possibly should have left the back open. I'm not changing it now, but I probably should have. I didn't I didn't have that open before. I mean, it's probably hard to do with the fact that the arms are sort of crossing over anyway. Like, I could do a small section here, which is like clearly open back, but it's probably not super important. It's only something I would think about or care about, I believe. We don't need this much leg showing. Let's go with that. It's clearly like a robot corpse, right? I'm pretty sure that's like a robot head and like a hand. I don't know if I'm gonna try and do a hand, but I could do a golem face. Kind of a round boy robot. So... Just gonna grab-a-rooney this leg real quick. We grab arm while we're here. Now, do I have an arm that's in the appropriate position? Possibly this one. Like, I literally just have a collection of spare parts effectively down here. That's possibly in the correct position. No, Adros. You hear me? You're playing Faz with Dan? Don't worry, I saw. Have a good time. Tell Dan to take his shirt off. Ideally, you'll do it in such a way that you're asking the ghost to tell Dan to take his shirt off. You can't, you're dead? Understandable. Understandable, Cat, but I hope you're enjoying the afterlife. It's peaceful? Excellent. Did you have a nice day? My day was okay. Lots of shenanigans happening at work, but that's pretty normal. We go -90 here. How you doing, Yami? I think I'm losing my voice also, but that's neither here nor there. Dan is also the only one alive. Is he opting out? Is he just like, well, fuck this place, it's the Oni, I'm done? Oh no, we don't want to move that. Eh!